Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Blonde,
Brunette
and Confused, the podcast where we share stories, unsolicited advice, and conversations about life as college students. We want to give you the unfiltered truth.
This marks the first episode of our second season.
Yeah.
Ladies, we made it. We're calling this our sophomore season. It's our sophomore year, our second season. It makes a lot of sense. But we're seasoned professionals now, so we're going to try, well, that was a bold statement. We're getting better, and we're going to try and make the podcast reflect that. So in this episode, you'll see some things we're trying to do to make the podcast better, a couple new segments, if you will. If you want to hear about the confused things we've done this week, a little update about our daily lives, then definitely stick around. Keep listening. Things can only get better. But before we can get to any of that, we need to catch you all up on the summers that we had, because surprise, all the episodes you listened to before this were pre-recorded before summertime and were released throughout. So you've missed a lot. Mm-hmm. And we're here to fill you in on our adventures.
Our final episode was even edited in Ireland.
Speaking of Ireland, Hannah, what did you do over the summer?
So this summer, I spent a month in Ireland with my family. We stayed in the house that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's mom grew up in. So that was fun, probably haunted. The highlight of the house was that at night and during the day, if you left a window open, bats came in. And if you didn't leave a window open, bats came in through the chimney. My dad is now very good at catching bats, and also I have learned that if I scream bloody murder in the middle of the night, no one will wake up.
Oh my god. It's also just a lose-lose situation. There's nothing you can do. The bats are just gonna come no matter what.
I slept with my door closed so they couldn't come in.
Oh, that's good.
But one night, so my cousin Olivia, she is 7, also my best friend. Her and her parents spent about a week with us. And so I had gone to see her because I heard her mom telling her a bedtime story. So obviously I wanted in on that. So I went to see her, and then I forgot to close my door all the way. And a bat just went straight in my door through the crack. The house kind of had this old antique feel to it, and they kept a lot of the old things. There was a giant light, and the bat just flew around it in circles for so long. And I crawled out of my room because the ceilings weren't that high, so if I stood, the bat would just be there. So I crawled out of my room to find my dad.
The bat could sense the opening. It was like, she normally wouldn't allow this. I'm ready.
Yeah, they're cute. Bats are actually really small, fuzzy, cute, but they're terrifying black beings when your light's off. You're in your bed. It's so dark in color that it kind of just looks like an absence of color flying around your room, and I assumed it was a demon.
I would scream.
That makes total sense.
My dad now knows how to properly catch a bat with a butterfly net and then safely put it out the window, and it will live. So my sister and her now fiance, they just got engaged. But so they came for a week, and I guess Nick went into the bathroom, and there was a dead bat.
Oh, no! Lauren and I just cringe audibly.
Nick was like, Molly, go see Hannah. And so obviously Molly went straight into the bathroom and immediately texted me, there's a dead bat. Come look. And I was like, hard pass. I ain't about that.
Oh my god. I would actually cry. Okay, so this is a little story that happened over the summer. Not the main thing that happened, but there was this giant bug that was in my house. And it was the size of a butterfly, but it wasn't a moth. It was as big as a fly. My mom and I looked at it and were like, what is this mutant creature? My mom and I were talking in the bathroom, and it flew in between both of our heads, buzzing. We both screamed bloody murder, and my dad's just like, what now? and we're just like, there's this giant bug, we don't know what to do. And he's just like, it's fine. It went in the bathroom, just close the door, it'll die. And I'm like, okay, fine. So we did that, and we ended up using a different bathroom for a while. A week goes by, and I went in my bedroom, and I went in my old backpack underneath my makeup desk to find something. I pull out my backpack, and the fly comes out. It's dead, and it comes out, and it was in my room, and I'm like, this thing has been in my room this entire time, and I did not know it while I was sleeping. And I cried. I screamed and cried. I called my mom, and she just laughed at me saying, haha, I was in your room the whole time. It was so scary. I hated it.
It's a mutant bug
It was a mutant
that
bug.
can teleport.
Pretty much.
Oh my gosh, wait. Speaking of mutant animals, so I live right next to what used to be a pond. Now it's like a marsh situation.
Mm-hmm.
But so we always get snapping turtles. But this summer, we saw this freaking snapping turtle like thing. It was out in my yard constantly, and I have never seen a turtle or a tortoise that looks anything like that. It looks like a weird dinosaur. Its shell was like covered in like plants and like dirt. Like, it was so crazy. My mom wouldn't let the dog outside, and it just kept going like along. We were so scared it was gonna lay eggs in her garden because we were just watching it out the window all morning. Like, we watched this animal for an entire day. I made my friend Kaylee come over to look at it, but it kind of looked like a non-colorful demonic Pokemon.
So not the fun parts of the
Not
Pokemon.
fun. It took some kind of Pokemon and like put it in a horror movie. It was so creepy, and we don't know what it was. I literally looked up all of the snapping turtles and like tortoises or whatever that live in my area, and I could not find an image of something that looked remotely like it.
This is just the summer of mutant animals, apparently. So if you have any mutant animal stories,
Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. But Ireland also had very cute animals.
Yeah, so the house I was in, the area around it was like horse fields. And then if you walked up the driveway, there was like cows and sheep. Sheep are now called babas and cows are moo-moos. I will not answer to anything else.
So cute.
But so the horses were amazing. And one of the pastures was just a mom and its baby. So my cousin Olivia, again, she named the mom and baby, even though these horses aren't ours, but we named them. It was like Midnight and Snowflake, I think.
Beautiful.
Yes.
I can't tell, but my face is like dying.
Yeah, so it was adorable. The baby was like way more willing to come up to people and be pet than the mom, because there was also a big pasture of like a bunch of adult horses, and they didn't really want to like come up. I couldn't really pet them. Mm-hmm. But the pony would just like roll up and be like, hello. So there's really cute pictures of my brother Harrison, Olivia, and I just petting Pony. Also, when I was like waking up in the morning, my room faced where the big horse field was, so I could just watch horses run around.
What a dream.
It was very therapeutic.
My inner elementary school almost horse girl is like screaming.
Oh, I was a true horse girl in elementary school. I won 2 state horseback riding championships. And then a few I took like 2nd and 3rd place in. Oh yeah, I've never told Lauren this. I don't think I've told Bella. But I used to be like a hardcore horse girl. After school every day, my mom or Nana would drive me to go ride my pony Shrek. My pony was named Shrek. He was fat, and he was friends with a donkey named Jeremy.
Shrek and Jeremy, what an iconic duo.
When you're little at horseback riding competitions, sometimes they'll let you do like a costume contest. And I dressed this horse up like a unicorn.
Classic.
Me and this boy who like rode at this barn, I had a crush on him when I was like 7. He dressed up as John Smith and I was Pocahontas. And the horse was just like a horse. We just didn't put a saddle on it. And we were like, costume, accurate. I did a rain dance and then it rained later that day. So I had no idea exactly what a rain dance was, but my mom told me to dance and it would rain. So I did. And then it did rain. So I thought I had magic powers for a good month and a half. Like full Matilda. I was trying to be Matilda so bad.
That's literally what I was about to say. Matilda mode activated.
At one point, I think I didn't think that I had them, but I wanted other people to think that I had powers. And so I remember I would be on the bus, right? It'd be a windy day, and I'd be looking out the window, and I see a leaf, like, flying. I would follow it with my finger to make it look like I'm moving the leaf. So I wanted people to think that I had powers, and I'd be like, oh my god, no one can know.
I was more of, I thought I had magic powers and was like, I can't tell anyone.
Lauren's just the actress. She knows. She's ready.
She knows I'm ready.
Another thing about Ireland that I can relate to now that I also spent the summer in another country is the fact that in countries that aren't the United States of America, some countries, you can drink at 18, which we are older than 18. We are legal adults. And so traveling to another country, you can just buy alcohol legally? Crazy. Did you have any experiences like that?
Okay, so I mean, I couldn't drive there because I could drink, but I don't think I can rent a car. So my dad had the car, but so we'd like go to the supermarket, and I liked this drink. It was like pink. I have no idea what kind of alcohol it was anymore because it's, been a while since I can't drink here. And I don't really know if they have it here. I think my mom bought it once. But so I just went to the grocery store and was like, oh, let me just grab this from the alcohol section and put it in the cart. And like no one looked at me weird. I looked 12 years old.
We are all infants.
We're small people.
Yes.
Bella's the smallest.
I am the smallest, and I'm proud of that fact, okay? Everybody out there, I am a small bean, and I live by that.
I live by that.
But so, like, in the place I was staying, we weren't staying near, like, a big, busy city. We were a little away from them. So at night when we, like, went out to drink, first of all, things closed super early. At, like, 10 o'clock, the bars were just pretty much closed. All the restaurants were closed. But also, all of the bars were just men over the age of 50. So I went with my dad, my cousin Carrie, and we went to the bar while everyone else was ordering food because it was taking a while and we're not patient people. So we went and I just ordered a drink and I was like, yeah, I want that. And they just gave it to me.
That would be so weird because I'm just like, can you see my face? I'm 12.
They didn't even ask for my ID.
That's even crazier.
Yeah, because I mean, you can drink kind of young there. And like, I mean, I was with my dad and my cousin, so they're like very clearly adult people. They kind of just like gave me the alcohol and it was so weird. I felt really cool.
It's just so crazy that there's literally an entire section of the menu that is now available for you to look at, because usually I just skip over the part, but I could actually look at it. It wasn't even the fact that I could drink it, just the fact that I could consider drinking it was enough for me. It was so different.
I went and sat at a bar with like my parents and then my sister and her now fiance Nick. I'm really excited about saying that. But so I just went and sat at a bar with them and I could sit there because in the US there's a lot of bars where like we can't even sit there.
Yeah.
Speaking of what you've been hinting at with the foreign country, Sabella, where did you go? What did you do?
Okay, y'all. I went to South Africa for 6 weeks, Johannesburg to be specific, if anybody cares. But yeah, so I actually went through our business school. It was kind of a crazy story. I had been trying all semester long to find an internship. I started applying in December. Internships at home. I was not getting anywhere. I was being ghosted by all of these places that told me they had received the application and then I just wouldn't hear from them, and I was giving up hope, and I was sitting in class and my teacher was like, hey, are there any entrepreneurship majors in the room? And that's me. I'm an entrepreneurship major. So he said that the school had a really cool summer opportunity. I checked it out, I applied, and then I got it. Crazy. So I went from thinking I was going to do nothing all summer, maybe working retail, to suddenly going to a foreign country. Crazy. I went with one other student who I had never met until I was in South Africa. His name is Sunny. He's now one of my closest friends because we had to live together for 6 weeks. We literally never left each other's side. There was no moment where he wasn't there because we lived across the hall from each other. We went to work together. We went to eat together. Everything we did together. But basically how things worked is we traveled to South Africa and we spent 6 weeks working for a local NPC called the Breast Health Foundation. They provide a lot of support services, educational services to people in the community about breast health issues, and we got to help them with their pitch decks, trying to get corporate funding. We got to go work in their clinics and see what breast health services look like. I know a lot now about the breast cancer journey and the breast cancer pathway, which I had no idea about before. And it was just so crazy to learn about how business operates in another country because it's so different from here, especially their healthcare model. I think the craziest part for me was I was just living with someone that I had never met before, alone in a foreign country, just kind of figuring it out along the way. We had an apartment, an Airbnb that the school rented for us, and that was it. We were just on our own. So on the weekends, we got to explore by ourselves. I learned a lot about traveling on my own and being independent, and I saw a lot of cool things. Also, South African accents, guys, they're so beautiful. It's so, okay, here's one thing that I will say. I don't know if, Hannah, you experienced this, but when you're surrounded by people that all have the same accent, you realize that you have an accent. I was confronted with the fact that I do, in fact, have an American accent, even though in my mind, this is bland. I don't have an accent, but technically, I do. And I was very confronted with that when I went to a place where nobody sounded like me. And so now I'm very hyper aware of the fact that I'm Bella, and I'm from America, and that's what I sounded like. Ooh, also, I went to a field hockey game, and the whole task was to sell raffle tickets to earn money for the Breast Health Foundation. So I had to go up to these extremely drunk field hockey older men and try and ask them to buy these raffle tickets. And I got one of two responses, which was, stop trying to talk to me, I'm watching the game, or you sound like you're not from here. And I was like, you are very correct, I am not from here.
It was an experience.
It was a total experience. I had the best time. Speaking of internships, Lauren also had an internship, which arguably is at one of the coolest places.
I would say. So
Disneyland?
Disneyland?
Close.
Very close,
The
actually.
Croc store?
Crocs store, I'm crying.
So I remember if I said this last season, but I moved very recently to upstate New York. I used to live in Connecticut. And so I used to have a solid job for 3 years when I was in Connecticut. And I was just like, I came back living in New York and I'm like, what do I do? Like, I don't know where to work or anything. And so my dad, he works at Resorts World Catskills Casino. And he was just like, oh, there's this new like indoor water park that is getting built. When it was my first semester at school, and he was like, yeah, it's starting to get built, it'll probably be like ready by the summer. And I'm like, that's awesome. In my head, I'm just like, oh, I'll probably like see if I can get like a lifeguard job or something like that. Turns out, because they were so new, I contacted HR and I was just like, hey, do you guys do internships? And they're like, we're very new, like we've never like had an intern before. And I'm like, can I be your first? And they're just like, all right, cool. And so I had a couple interviews that were terrifying, but I got the sales and marketing internship, which is amazing because marketing is my major. It was also an experience. It was interesting to kind of learn how a business that's starting from nothing is kind of marketing to people rather than someone who's been around for a while. It's like interesting them all like coming up with like different marketing strategies and stuff for people who don't really know about them. So I helped making the website and cleaning up the website and adding videos and pictures and whatever to that. I was backstage at a commercial shoot for the new commercial, which was really, really cool. I actually got to film a couple things for the resort because I told them that I was also a drama minor, and I was just like, yeah, I love acting. And they're just like, hey, okay, you can do a couple of these promotional things for us. So those are on the website. So yeah, it was a really interesting experience. There was a lot of days where I kind of like had a lot of downtime, and literally my boss encouraged me to like look at auditions and stuff, which was really cool. I had two bosses. They were absolutely amazing, and they're both really young, so it was easy to like talk with them and stuff, and they understood like my schedule. I went out to dinner with the marketing team a lot, and it was kind of funny because they're all like in their 30s or older, and so they're all like getting drinks, kind of like but I was in the States, so I couldn't drink. But it was kind of funny just because they were all just like, oh, I forget how young you are. And I'm like, yeah, I'm 19. But yeah, it was a really good experience. I also got 6 free tickets to the water park whenever I wanted for anybody. So
Perks of the job.
Perks of the job. I could take my parents. I could take anybody. I'd probably take my brothers next summer. And they offered me to stay for winter break, which is amazing. So I'm going to be working there again. Summer, I might be trying to get a different internship, but we will see. But yeah, it was a really good experience. I love working there. There isn't a lot of things around where I live now, so it's kind of cool that we just have like this casino and like water parks. It brings a lot of people into this area, so yeah, it's really nice.
I cannot stress enough how valuable an internship is in really learning what it's like to work where we want to be eventually, even though it's a completely different tier, just getting to see that world. And it can be super hard to find an internship your first year. So if anyone's interested in learning more about our experiences, let us know, because our episodes are pretty short and that could definitely be a whole topic on its own. But I would encourage doing what Lauren and I ended up doing, which is like ask your family, ask your school, because sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Absolutely.
Honestly, the best way to get something is to network.
And going along with that, with like who you know, it's crazy how a job can bring you farther into a different field, because no matter how much, like I absolutely love marketing and stuff, and doing this internship showed me how much I really do love it. But also a lot of the people that I worked with, like the HR director that I ended up having my first interview with, his daughters are both actresses and I've been in movies, and one of the other people on the marketing marketing team, his younger brother was on Disney. And it's like crazy because no matter how much like marketing I was doing, I was also kind of marketing myself to them. And because of that, I got like a new headshot photographer from the HR director. And like I just got a lot of like really good information and a lot of different opportunities, which is really great. So because of that, even if I didn't end up liking the marketing part, I still got an experience and different information for a different field that I would like to go into, which is amazing. You never know who could bring your career farther.
Yeah. Your professors, your friends, your family, people that you meet in classes, people that you meet at events, anybody and everybody you can go talk to and get connections.
Yeah.
Like this guy, he came and talked at our school and he's from my hometown. So obviously I went because whenever anybody has any connection to Washington, I freak out.
Bella loses her mind. Someone wore a Halloween costume of a sports team from Washington.
And I lost it. That taste of home is just so wonderful. And so I just went up to this guy afterwards and I was like, hey, it sounds like you work in the industry that my brother's trying to get into. So I told him a little bit about my brother, told him a little bit about our family, and he was so kind and so gracious and offered to look at my brother's resume. So you would never know if you didn't go and ask. And literally the worst thing that they can say is no, which is something we talk a lot about in our next episode.
With a very special guest. She's verified on Instagram. She's been on Radio Disney. She's cool.
Y'all, we were not kidding when we said we upped our game, okay? I promise. Her name's Alexa Curtis if you want to check her out in advance, but we're so excited for that episode. It's just a taste of how we're making things better, but this semester so far we've also done a lot of growth on our own. How's it been, ladies? Sophomore year.
This semester, Bella and I both ran to be on the e-board of Hofstra's Only Entrepreneurship Club. It's kind of where this podcast started because Bella was a member of the club last year, and it's where she kind of brainstormed the idea to start the podcast. So we're both on the e-board now. I am the treasurer, and Bella is the secretary.
Yes.
So we do that now, which is cool. There's, pictures of us on, like, the Zarb story.
We're Instagram famous is basically what Hannah's trying to say.
Yes.
We're taking over.
What I'm trying to say is we are taking over the Zarb school. We will be at Shining Stars by the time we graduate. That is the plan. Sometimes Bella will send me Snapchats, and it'll be like, Hannah, of these 3 very, very similar fonts, which one is best?
Oh my gosh, yes. I do that all the time. I also got an on-campus job at our Center for Civic Engagement, which is another thing that I could talk about forever. But one of my things is supporting on-campus events, making flyers for them, and especially for my first flyer, I was so terrified because it was a very tangible product that I had to produce for a job that I was getting paid for, that I was being evaluated for. And so I was literally terrified, and I needed all of Hannah's support because she is our graphic design queen and I am just a graphic design jester, so I really needed her support in that endeavor. But yeah, now I get paid to do things on campus. Not very much. We can talk about on-campus jobs at another time, but yeah, I think for me the biggest difference is the fact that I know what to expect. We've done this whole college thing once before, so it's just the teensiest bit easier.
I think I've done a lot when it comes to outside of school things. Like I went to the New York City Actors Expo, which was amazing, and I got to meet so many incredible people. I got to meet so many agents, and I can't even describe the experience. I'm gonna go next year. I'm gonna go every single year after that, and I met some amazing people, and I've been connected with a lot of people for different things, and I am gonna audition for a student film today, and
in a few hours.
Yeah, now that you kind of understand the workload that you're faced with, you can start prioritizing your other passions, your passion projects, your outside of school interests.
Yeah.
And get into the city more. Speaking of other new things, that brings us to one of our new segments called our Confused Moment of the Week. We do a lot of blonde and confused things.
Yes, all the time.
All the time. And I just really think it would be hilarious to share them with you. So, for example, yesterday I got in the elevator with this guy. He was going to the 13th floor, I was going to the 11th floor. And usually I'm not accustomed to getting off the elevator first because we're so high up. So we get to the 11th floor, and for some reason I'm waiting for him to get out. I'm standing there and I'm like, this guy's not moving. And I realize that's because it's my floor. and my turn to get out of the elevator. Also, I have several times gotten out of the elevator prematurely, just assuming that that was the ground floor or whatever floor I wanted to get off on. And then I'm just standing in a residential hall that's not mine at all, like the 6th floor. And I'm just standing there, but it's too late. The doors have shut behind me. I've had a lot of elevator incidents.
I love that. Hannah, what is a confused moment you've had this week?
Okay, so on with the topic of yesterday, I needed a few things from Target, and I made my boyfriend Mike come with me because I don't want to drive. I don't like driving. He likes driving. It's perfect. It's how we work. So I had him come with me. We went all through the store. I got the things I needed. I got the things I don't need, like a gallon of almond milk. I need it. It's so good.
You need the almond milk.
The almond milk's so good. I looked at every single Christmas ornament they have in that store. Yeah, I'm a lot at Target. I like to look at everything. Anything that looks soft, I touch it. It's like going to Target with a child. But anyway, so after I made him spend like an hour at Target, in which I bought 5 things, and he bought 2 things, we get to the self-checkout, and I realized I forgot my wallet. So,
Nice job.
you know, I'd already scanned all my things, so I'm just standing there. He turns around, he just finished paying, and he looks at me, and I was like, "Hi, I forgot my wallet. Can you pay for me and I'll give you money when we get back to school?" And it was just so sad and awkward. And he was like, "Hannah, how much is it though?" Because he had just, swiped his card because there's a limit. And I was like, $20. Like, that's how sad it was. Like, I didn't have my wallet and it was $20 worth of items. I could not pay for it. And it was like shaving cream, nail polish remover. So he paid for it. And then we get back in the car and he's like, "Oh, I should probably text my mom," because his mom sees all of his card statements. And he was like, "She's going to think that someone stole my card because I'm buying like girl products." And I was like, all right.
What about you, Lauren?
Yeah, Lauren.
So, Thursday, I went out to a party. I didn't drink at all. Ended up getting to the house. 2 minutes later, I decided to walk down the stairs to the basement.
As one does.
As
It's
one
stairs.
does.
It's stairs.
It's stairs, right? My friends were down there and I wanted to meet them, Took the first step and completely slipped and fell all the way down the stairs. Again, mind you, I was sober. I was completely sober, but the railing and the stairs were extremely slippery. So my entire right side of my body is very bruised and will be for a while. But I ended up getting down to the bottom of the stairs and I was just like kind of in shock what just happened. And 2 frat guys were just like, "Yo, bro, you good?"
Yo, bro.
And I was just like, "Yep, I'm fine." And I like got up and I went to my friends. I'm like, "I'm not fine. I hurt." So that was a confused and funny moment. And also when I was leaving, I was only there for like an hour because I wanted to go back after the fall. But then I was leaving, I took 1 step to go up the stairs. I did not slip. And someone poured an entire glass of water, thank God, onto me right as I was about to get onto the stairs. So, wasn't fun. That was my confused moment of the week.
What a wild ride.
What a wild ride.
But sophomore year, we have so much more to talk about. So stay tuned. So many good topics, and we're so excited to have you along for the ride.
To stay up to date on new episodes and a look behind the scenes, follow us at BBNC Pod on all social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, even Pinterest, my pride and joy. It's also a great place to contact us, let us know what you think, and give us topics you want to discuss. Finally, share our podcast with anyone you think may be interested. And a little addition to my usual end note, we are doing a sticker giveaway. If you post in your story about our podcast and your favorite episode of it, or if you message us and send us a suggested episode idea, we will send you a sticker. So that's exciting. Thank you so much for listening. You're all shining stars.